Rock 100.5 KATT. It's Cameron Buchholtz here with Dave from Asylum. What's going on, man?
Oh, not too much. We just pulled into Spokane, Washington, drove out from Salt Lake City last night.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, you're just a few days into this tour, right?
You are correct. Yep. This is like the fourth gig or third
Gotcha. What are your first impressions here?
in Spokane.
Or just the first few dates of the tour?
Oh, real good. We're playing a lot of new material, and the response has been great. And we're touring with Juliana Hetfield,
Mm-hmm.
and she's great. And the crowd seems to be digging what they're doing, and it's funny. I mean, it's the road, it's touring, it's playing music for people. It's what I love to do. So I can't complain, although I should probably complain more, but I try not to.
There you go. Keep it positive.
There you go. Positive mental attitude.
Now, have you guys played shows with Juliana before?
Maybe like a couple times a long time
Yeah.
ago, you know.
Gotcha. I mean, it's kind of an interesting pairing. I like the pairing.
Huh?
I said it's kind of an interesting pairing. It's not one that I would like expect immediately, like, oh yeah, that would be.
Yeah, the first show together, it's like this works. This is gonna work. It's really cool. It's hard to find a band that gives diversity, but yet sort of appeals to the same crowd, I guess. And it works. I was just like, okay, they're like a punk band, and we're like a punk band, and it's cool. It's more interesting than having a band that is just like us. Four dudes making loud music.
Sure,
This is two
sure.
dudes making loud music.
But now you guys are out in support of the new record, Slowly But Surely, which is all of like what 4 or 5 days old at this point.
You are correct.
And now, after all the albums that you've released over the years, like, what are your general feelings at this point after each one? Like, do you sort of know already? Oh, this was a good one, or how do you feel about it? Like once it's out in the world, a few days in.
Well, I think when we finished recording the record and we got the mastering right, it took a couple tries. Uh, that's kind of like you just finished reading a really, really, really long book that was great experience, however arduous keeping reading it was. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but I felt good about the record. I felt great about how it turned out. And at that point, I was able to relax a little bit and go, okay, we're going to throw this thing out into the world, and I'm proud of it. So, I hope people like it. But as the punk rock aesthetic goes, if they don't like it, then turn it off and go find something else to do.
Sure. But now you talk about a long, arduous process. How long was the process in making this record?
Well, I mean, a record, when we finished the last record, that's when I gotta go, okay, it's time to start writing the next record, which is where I'm at right now. Um, so it's always slightly different, but more the same in a way that it's just the process that I've been doing for 40 some years, and then you go tour the record, and then you kind of tour that record until nobody wants to hear it anymore. Well, no one cares to a certain degree if you've already been to Spokane this
Hmm.
year.
Sure. But now I think I
Yeah.
read that going into this record, you guys had like 30 songs or something ready. So you're talking now, looking ahead to write the next record. Why not go visit those other however many 14, 13 songs?
Well, I mean, there's a writer named Sherman Alexis who I think is great, and I was listening to him talk about writing, and he said, "I have two piles. One pile it's this high, and it's all the shit. It's the stuff that didn't work, and then there's a pile that's like this high, and it's like that's the good stuff." So his point being, you have to process through all this stuff to get to this stuff, and that takes time, and it takes getting everyone on board. So I'll bring a song to the band and they'll go, or I'll bring a song to the band and they'll go, yes, this is great. And I'm like, all right, I got another one. So there's a lot of experimenting, and there's a lot of just throwing stuff at a wall and seeing what sticks. And then when Steve Jordan came into the picture, we gave him like 40 songs or so, and I just said, "You pick them," and he picked the songs that went on the record, and I totally trust Steve. So
Gotcha. And then those other just, 28 songs just go in the vault.
yeah, they hang around or not. Some of
Yeah.
them might go, "Oh yeah, remember that one?" And we'll go, "Oh yeah, maybe we should revisit that." Well, more often than not, there's just yes, a vault. I don't know vault, but I probably should.
Yeah. But now you mentioned bringing it to the bands. How collaborative is it with your bandmates at this point? Because I think a lot of people might assume that Soul Asylum is kind of just Dave Pirner now.
I mean, that's the deal with being in a band. You had to run everything by the band. And if they're like, this part of this song goes on for too long, I'm like, well, you're the one who's going to have to play it. So you're right. And I'll shorten it. Stuff like that. You bounce
So
ideas off
you're not a
people.
dictator.
No, no. I try always to run a band like a democracy, and everybody's opinion counts. And yeah, we all have to kind of live with the material. And if the band is playing material that they don't like, that can't be good for anything.
Now, have you
But
ever been in a position where you were playing stuff you didn't like?
not since high school.
Okay. That's a pretty lucky position to be in, kind of always steering your own ship.
Yeah, yeah. I can't remember ever not having creative control, which is
Well,
pretty.
well now then tell me about how you kind of got reconnected with Steve Jordan.
I we made a record together in 1990, and he introduced me to a guy named Nico Bolas, who's Neil Young's recording engineer and archiver and all that sort of stuff. And I got this great feeling from Nico. I just really liked him. And I thought, oh, I'll see if he's available. So I talked to him, and he said, send me a song. And I sent him a song and he mixed it. And then I got a call saying Steve Jordan wanted to produce our record. And I was thrilled. And I called my drummer, Michael Bland, and said, guess who wants to produce the record? And we were both like, oh, it was great. Because I know Steve, I know what he is expecting from me. And I know that, I'm gonna do my best to give it to him. And it's a language that we have between each other that is, you know, supportive and empathetic, and really looking to do it to do justice to the material, if you will.
Nice. Well, yeah, sure. Slowly but surely, which is out now everywhere, and you're going to be here in Oklahoma City. I believe it's October 18th at the Tower Theater, and people can get the tickets at towertheaterokc.com. And Dave, just I appreciate you taking the time, man, and super stoked to see you here in Oklahoma City in a couple weeks.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate your time too.
Indeed, and have a good tour in the meantime.
Right on. Have a great rest of your day, man.